a weekly marketing pop, 8:30 tip tomorrow night. Doors will open 90 minutes before, which will be 7 o'clock for the Corral student section. Appreciate all you guys in your different ways getting the word out. Students get here early. Sure there'll be some kids probably getting in line as early as tonight and certainly throughout the day tomorrow. First 1,000 students tomorrow get Whataburger, chicken, what's it called? What is that? Honey, butter, chicken sandwich. First 1,000 students. Once the corral fills, we really proud of what we got going with the upper corral too, standing room only section. Pretty cool seats up there. Got their own concessions and bar up there as well. On that top level, we've had a lot of students send in emails and calls in the last week or so. Excited about a lot of things, and that upper corral is a pretty cool place to be too. Encourage all season ticket holders to please get here early. Know it's a late game, but it's going to be a big game, obviously, so get here early and wear burnt orange. If you can't come to the game tomorrow night, please give your seats to some Longhorn that will sit in your seats. As we build the program, that's the consistent message, and I want to be really clear, thank you. We're off to a great start after 2 games in the exhibition, so we're really appreciative of our season ticket holders, and just ask one more time, please, tomorrow night, come out, get here early, wear burnt orange, stay late, be loud. Won't be a bigger game in college basketball than here tomorrow night. Big part of that's Gonzaga, one of the most consistent programs in college basketball. A lot of respect for Coach Few and their players. You know, it's our goal here at Texas to not build one team or one great run, to be consistent. And so here we are again, Gonzaga, one of the best teams in the country. They were last year, the year before that, so their consistency is very easy to see. A lot of respect for their program and Coach Few. We'll have to play our best 40 minutes of the season to this point to be successful in this game. Our players understand that, and that's our goal. We're excited to do that. Thanks.
Questions? When you played them last year, you didn't have Dessou, you didn't have Mitchell. What have you seen from them in these 2 games that leads you to believe they could maybe make a big difference defensively?
Yeah, so we obviously have a lot of challenges in this game. Gonzaga's front line is really good. All of us are familiar with Drew Timme, a player that we had a chance to recruit, know him, know his family, and know it's a big thing for him to come back to his home state. Drew is one of the best players in college basketball. Everything that he's earned or he gets notoriety is real. He's earned that. Preseason All-American. You know, he's a very challenging guard. He can play inside, out, does a lot of great things that even the stat sheet doesn't show, so he's a dynamic player. We'll have to have multiple guys on our roster play really well to stop Drew, as well as their other frontline players. I got a couple other guys that can really play as well. So certainly CB, Dessou, other guys on our roster. There's no secret, right? Everybody's going to have to play well tomorrow night.
Your guards have gotten involved on the boards, and some of that's good that they're getting involved on the boards, but some of it means that it's getting past some of your taller guys. Is that what do you take from your guards' rebounding numbers so far?
Yeah, I totally disagree with that. All due respect to that. I think whenever guards rebound, it's good. Has nothing to do with other guys not getting rebounds, so I totally disagree with that one. You know, a lot of times our bigs are in block-out battles, and you got to keep the big off the board, and that allows guards to come down and rebound down. A lot of times guards don't have to block out, so there's different ways about it. But I think Tyrese's rebounding numbers right now are legit. They're real. That's something I think that he can maintain throughout the season. Marcus has always been a good defensive rebounder, rebounding down. So, you know, in the rebounding game, especially when you play against somebody as good as Gonzaga, you know, Dessou could have a great night and maybe only have 6 rebounds because maybe he did a good job keeping Reed and those guys off the glass, Drew Timme and those guys. So we know this. We have to be a team that team rebounds. We have to be a team that all 5 players got to get their nose wet, a little dirty from time to time. I think we're off to some good starts this season. We got a long ways to go, but I think we've shown that we can be a good rebounding team.
They've been able to help out the guards crash and still get the break going. Now, what's your impression of that? How they've been able to do that?
Yeah, just I think offensively we're really good in the break because we have multiple people that can bring the ball up the floor. Again, it's no secret, but whenever Timmy Allen gets a rebound, it triggers our break. Whenever one of our guards gets a rebound, it triggers our break. You know, we just have multiple ball handlers on the floor. We're not a team that has to rely on one ball handler. And that normally relates to us having the chance or potential to be a good, offensive-based team. So I like a lot of the things we're doing this early season. And our fast break points are like over 40 to 0 or 1. We haven't given up a lot of fast breaks at this point. We're really creating a big percentage of our offense in the open court. A little too early to be looking at like rankings and things like that, but we do spend time looking at those things because there's a mathematical way to win. And I think right now in the rankings to really be in the top 10, both offensively and defensively right now, there's a lot of good things in this early season.
First, we talked about identity with Tyrese and Marcus. What kind of opportunity does this game present to continue to grow the Texas basketball identity that you're trying to create here?
Yeah, every game's an opportunity. That's the next game on the schedule. We certainly understand that a lot of the hype on this game revolves around the opponent and their success in basketball, the consistency in their program. And we welcome that. To our guys, though, the reality is this is one of many. We got Illinois and Tennessee and Creighton coming up, and in our league, most every night is like the game that we play tomorrow night. So that's an exciting thing. That's why you come to Texas. So we certainly have to be up to play the game. We understand that. But I think a big part of this is we can't be too up either. I mean, this is the next game on the schedule for Texas, and we'll have to play well against one of the best teams in the country. But it'll be the same thing here in a couple days when I'm saying it's the next game on the schedule. We'll have to play well to win. And I know from Gonzaga's standpoint, it's the same thing, right? With their non-conference schedule, especially that the way they challenge themselves night in and night out, this isn't some kind of monumental big game for them. This is the next game on the schedule for both of us.
You mentioned the consistency of their program. Is there anything else that really stands out to you about what Mark's been able to build in the last 15 years?
Yeah, great question. I think, they get a great offensive identity with the talent they've had, NBA players, great college players. But I'd be pretty quick to say we played against their teams for a long time, competed against them in the NCAA tournament a few times, and certainly last year we played there. They're really good defensively. And it's just like the narrative. Every team kind of has a narrative that people go with, but it's not necessarily the complete narrative. I would tell you that Gonzaga is one of the best defensive teams in college basketball each year. They have a certain style, the way they protect the rim, the way they force turnovers. Everybody doesn't play the same way, but defensively they're very challenging to play against. Offensively, they're as good as advertised. And I think specifically with Coach Few, it's just the consistency, the way he's done it. 1 year it'll be with a couple five-star high school one-and-dones. The next year it'll be with returning players. This year's team, certainly the two players they got in the portal, their two transfers, are impacting them in a high way. Their returning players have all gotten better. So there's just a lot of things about their team that we strive to build here in our early days of building this program, year two.
And then Marcus mentioned that the guys that were here last year that went through that game got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder from the way that went down. Is that a good thing, or do you prefer they forget, last year and put that aside?
No, I think it's a good thing. I think motivation comes in different forms. I hope we never coach a game at Texas or never coach a player at Texas that doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. That's part of playing at Texas, just like I'm sure it's part of playing at Gonzaga. Every game's the biggest game on their schedule, and we get a lot of that here too at Texas. But no, I hope that the 5 returners that played in the game last year, it's a little extra source of motivation. We didn't play as well as we wanted to, but why didn't we play as well as we wanted to? Gonzaga, they played great, got great coaches and great players. So this is the next chance to compete against one of the best teams in the country. We have a lot of these opportunities this year. This one's exciting, especially being the Moody Center, game number 3. So just a lot of cool things in tomorrow night's game. Just trying to remind the guys that the 40-minute game is the most important thing, not all the narratives outside the game.
You drew 5 fouls on both of Michigan State's bigs in that last game. How much of an emphasis is it for your guys to not foul early and to be able to just stay in the game?
Yeah, lots of emphasis whenever you play against an All-American like Drew Timme, and certainly one of them is the foul game. We want to make Drew play defense. We want to be aggressive. And then on the other hand, we want to understand that each possession is kind of a life in itself, and we can't, get too eager or too aggressive. That makes sense. So there's a fine line between battling but also playing the game out there where there's 3 officials with 3 whistles, and they've got something to do with the game too. So easy to talk about, but really difficult to do because Drew Drew's a special college player. I've been around a lot of guys, coached them, coached against them, and I don't know if I've ever seen a better college basketball player than Drew Timme. And I believe he'll be a great pro too, because I think one of the best things about him is just his IQ. He has a calmness and a poise to him, and his team never gets too rattled. It's because of him. And then, of course, give Coach Few a lot of credit too, because he's the guy that's been coaching him.
Two last ones for Coach. Coach Beard, I asked Marcus Carr if all the plays that they execute were scripted. Because it seems like as the game gets super fast, it's almost like they're this gelled unit that just starts feeding off each other. You mentioned that, no, sometimes they do just feed off each other. At what point do you let them go, let the horses out, and let them just do their thing?
Our team or Gonzaga's team?
Your team.
Yeah, we're not scripted at all. My whole career, I've told people I believe in players, not plays. The best teams I've ever coached, I enjoy watching the game just like you guys do, and set the players up with spacing to be successful. So now we're not a team that scripts much. We don't joystick much. We recruit good players. We believe in player development. We believe in guys making plays. My goal to win a championship at Texas is not the red, blue, or horns play. My idea is, Tyrese Hunter and Marcus Carr in space, and and Dylan Mitchell and CB and Rice. And to me, the game's always been about plays. So I'm glad that me and Marcus are on the same page there. If our plan tomorrow night's plays, then it's not going to be our night. Our plan's players.
Chris, when you went back and looked at three-point shooting, not just from the other night, but from the UTEP game also, you watched the film, did you like the shots? Did you feel like maybe some things were rushes? What was your overall take on three-point shooting?
Yeah, overall, taking good shots. Got to stay the course, It's 2 games in. Sometimes that stat sheet looks really, really good, and about a month later, you kind of miss it. And other times, you get off to kind of a slow start. So we can shoot the ball better. We got good shooting. We'll stay committed to the process on that. Same thing with the free throw line. We'll stay committed to the process there. How are we scoring all these points and shooting over 50% from the floor when we're really not making threes right now? We're doing a lot of really good things in our offense. We're playing at a great tempo right now, one of the fastest paces in college basketball right now. We're getting A-zone shots early. We're doing a great job finishing around the basket. Inside out's good to us right now. So there's a lot of good things too. But I understand the question. Early season stat sheet, it looks like we got some shooters that got to start making some shots, and I think we all understand that. But the answer is just to stay through the course. Our shooters make over 300 makes a day. We coach every rep. We believe in footwork and ball placement and shot selection and holding your follow through. So it's just discipline. It's like you can't control every outcome, but you can control the process and the technique and the fundamentals that you shoot with. So from our player development guys to our GAs to our coaches, assistant coaches, and players, we're committed to being a good shooting team this year, and I have a lot of confidence that the basket will open up sooner than later.
Coach, I asked Marcus also if he knew his shooting percentage, his sweet spot, or his favorite shot. He didn't really know, but do you know what his percentage there is? Right off the center line to the right.
Yeah, Marcus knows that too. He's a veteran. He's been doing a lot of these things. These microphones don't intimidate or confuse Marcus, so Marcus knows exactly what his strengths and weaknesses are. Marcus, he is a real student of the game. He's one of the funnest guys I've ever. Is funnest a word? Doesn't sound right. Funnest? He's one of the most fun guys that I've ever coached because he's a real IQ guy. I asked Marcus's opinion on a lot of things, and he's a basketball guy. Enjoy talking basketball with him in the office, in the film room. So, yeah, don't let him play like that. He knows exactly what's going on. And young Tyrese, same thing, point guard play. Rice is a veteran. So I'm having a blast coaching these guys. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night because it's just a great opportunity game. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow night. But one of the reasons I'm enjoying this so much is we got some high IQ guys on our team, and Marcus is one of them. I've never talked to Marcus about this, I don't think, but I believe he'll coach one day in some form or fashion. I think he'll play pro ball till he's probably 40 because he loves it that much. And then I bet Marcus will be involved in basketball so much. Might be coaching his kids or might be next to me on the bench. But in one way or another, he'll be a basketball guy forever because he's got an incredible IQ.
So do you know his numbers in that section?
Sir?
Do you know his numbers, his shooting percentage?
Yes.
Would you tell us?
No.
Jeff, last one.
Chris, just real quick on getting Ron Holland signed, not just the player Ron is, but knowing how much, you talked about how much you love basketball in this state. You want to get good players wherever you can find them, but is there an emphasis on the kids in this state that can play for you, making sure that they come in?
Yeah, absolutely. For a lot of reasons. One, you want to try to take care of your home area, your home state, and also you want to go where the best players are, and that happens to be Texas. The state of Texas, because of the high school recruiting, the grassroots recruiting, the training, the player development. There's some other states that are really good, but none better than Texas. Just look at the data. NBA players from Texas, All-Americans from Texas. Look what's going on in our state right now, college basketball-wise, right? So, yeah, it starts one whole. It's our home state. We want to protect it. Two, it's where the best players are. We want to be involved. But equally important, too, is just good players. We're not going to take a guy just because he's from our home state. I mean, we're in the business of winning. It's a talent business. So to get somebody like Ron, he just hits on all cylinders, just icing on the cake that he's from the Metroplex and from Texas. But, I mean, to Ron Holland, it's his competitiveness, it's his talent. So it's kind of family he's from. It's the coaching he's had both in the summer and in high school and in individual training. It's his skill set. It's his willingness and talent to defend. It's his offensive versatility. It's what kind of teammate he is, what kind of person he is. So, with Ron, we just feel like it's a home run. We just hit on every cylinder. And so we're so proud to have him join the program and pulling for him. His high school season started the other day. Had a great game. And, I think, the distance from his driveway to Austin and now allows him to come to games probably more than most. And so whenever we see him, it just, makes my day to see Ron Holland.
Thank you all.
Thanks.